today we're going to work on the chicken coops. This weekend I need all the chicken coops completed because my goal is to get it all done this weekend, so next weekend we can start working on the barn, because I can just see how quickly time gets away from you and I won't be able to get to working on the barn for the year before the snow comes. So today we're going to work on the chicken coop. I have a bunch of projects. I'm probably going to make different videos because there's a lot of different things I'm going to do. But this video is basically going to be me making box type feeders. A box type feeder is basically a box you put inside your chicken coop that you put your chicken feed in. I'm going to make it a gravity type feeder, so it's going to just go down to a place where the chickens can eat it. But my goal is to have it big enough that it can hold at least 2 bags of chicken feed, because I have a problem with rodents and I put them in my garage and suddenly my garage turns into like this mouse infestation, and so that's no good either. So my goal is to get the chicken feed at the feed store, go to the chicken coop, dump it in the box, and then it stays there and it keeps the mouse problem maybe around the chicken coop and not in my garage. So that's the first thing we're going to build today, so let's go. So I went to Rona and I picked up 3 pieces of 3/8 plywood. I really couldn't go any thicker because I just couldn't justify spending that much for the feeders. But I bought a bunch of 2x4s and I'm thinking if I cut them down to 1x2 and frame in the feeding box, it should be plenty strong and it should last a long time. We're going to build 2 feed boxes, 35 inches high, 3 feet wide. I got to make sure that I slant the lid, so we won't be able to fill it up to 35 inches because the lid's going to be slanted forward a bit. If you don't slant the lid, the chickens are going to sit on the lid and they'll just make a huge mess. So if you slant the lid, they can't roost there, and that's what I kind of want. So we'll start marking out the plywood and cutting it up. The first piece of plywood, I got my 2 35-inch pieces. The leftover piece, I'm going to mark off and cut off at 17 inches. That one is going to be my first side piece. I don't want to stick out much more than 17 inches from the coop, just because, you know, it's going to really limit the amount of space in the coop. So I think 17 inches is going to be good. So I'll cut this one and then I'll have to cut 3 more pieces. You do have to pick what you want to put money into. It's way cheaper than actually buying a feeder of that size for 2 coops. So this is definitely way cheaper. Things like automatic door openers or nesting boxes, you know what, it takes a bit of time to do. And you know what, you still have to buy the wood too. So I kind of chose to buy some of those items and make the feeders and the waters, you know, just to save a little bit of money. But the end result is I want the coop to be very self-sufficient, where I only have to go out once a day. So that is the goal anyway. So we're gonna finish cutting this up and then we're gonna start assembling this box. So I got the front and the back cut up. We're gonna cut the sides to 45 inches because they're the exact same length as the back. all the pieces cut out. We're gonna start making it. This is going to be the inside of the bin, so I want to make sure that it's as smooth as possible because you want the chicken feed to slide down easily. So you don't want screws sticking out and you don't want to frame the inside. I got all the panels made to make the 2 boxes, so we can just start assembling them. So I set the front piece in there. I put 2x4 chunks just to keep it solid. Then we're going to screw this in place. I'm going to mark everything and eventually I'm going to cut that off, but I want to make sure everything fits first. I did somehow mess this up a bit. This is a little wider than this. It's pulling in on my plywood, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good. I got it screwed in place. I don't have perfect hinges. I actually have pretty small hinges, but it should be enough for this. I kind of want to use what I have because I already have quite a bit in this project. So that works pretty good. I'll just have to be careful with the hinges. If something happens, I'll just have to put better quality hinges, but I'm using up what I have. Now I have to put a little tray on here, and then this thing is done. I got one assembled, and I really can't believe how long it takes to do anything. You know what, I'm not a carpenter. It probably takes me longer than other people to make stuff, but my goodness, it is just painstakingly slow. I thought I'd have all the coops done, but you know what, I'm happy. I got one of the feeders done, so we're gonna go install it, and we're gonna see how it works. My goodness, it looks larger when you actually have it in here. Sometimes I might have to fiddle around with the tray to raise or lower that board if too much feed spills out. But if you get the height just right and enough of a lip, and they can't get their head in sideways, there's less chance of them kicking the feed out. So let's give this a try, see how it works. Okay, girls, let's figure this out. Let's see if you like it. Okay, let's see if they can. Uh-oh. I'm definitely going to have to modify that. I'm going to raise that board up a bit. Hold it, hold it, hold it, guys. Fully installed. I may have to play with the actual trough a little bit to make sure I'm not losing too much chicken feed. I'll show you how it looks. It is definitely bigger than I thought it was going to be. Way more room in here than 2 bags of feed. I could probably put 4 bags of feed or more. I kind of overdid it. I don't know if I'm going to actually fill this right up to the top. I put a whole whack of screws into the wall, and it seems relatively sturdy, but you know, you don't want to press your luck for sure. It fit in there nicely. The only issue is, so when I filled it up, it just poured out, so I raised up that bar just a little bit. I may have to modify the trough if I see that they're wasting too much food. Just put a little ledge here, just so it's a little bit more surface, so it's not going to just fall off, especially this stuff here. But I think it looks pretty good. So there you go, it's getting late. That's about enough for today, and you guys have a good one.